Representatives from the local 318, the president, Nelson Mar, some of the restaurant workers, and some of the organizers that have been fighting to make sure that restaurant workers who are unionized get to have a new home or their old home reestablished here in Chinatown. We all know the importance of a dim sum hall. A dim sum hall brings people together, brings politicians from all around the city to one location, brings business leaders to make deals for our community. It holds marriages, it holds celebrations, it holds birthday parties, retirement, and that's what we've been missing in Chinatown. We have to go all the way to Flushing or Sunset Park to celebrate a lot of these traditions that we once celebrated here in the heart of the Chinese community in New York City, the Manhattan Chinatown. And with this partnership today, with the East Broadway Group and Local 318, we're bringing back these celebrations. We're bringing back these historic moments, and we're bringing back union workers to the Chinese restaurants here in Chinatown. And I want to thank everyone who's here today for making it possible. I also want to recognize Lee Boy's sons who are with us as well. Up first, we're going to have the president of Local 318 say a few words, Nelson Mar.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Marte. Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming out today. We're here today to announce and celebrate an important agreement between Broadway East Group and 318 Restaurant Workers Union. My name is Nelson Mar, and I'm the president of the 318 Restaurant Workers Union. We are an independent union, largely representing immigrant Chinese restaurant workers in the metropolitan area. We've been organizing and fighting for improved working conditions in the restaurant industry for the last 40 years. We are proud to announce that our union and the development group, Broadway East, has come to an agreement about the hiring and about the opening of a planned large-scale restaurant at 88 East Broadway. I cannot stress how important this agreement is for the revitalization of Chinatown community, an example how developers and the community can work together. First, this agreement makes clear that Chinatown will once again have a large-scale Chinese dim sum restaurant. A large-scale restaurant is crucial for a strong economic recovery of Chinatown and for the long-term health of the community. Our community lost 3 large-scale restaurants during the pandemic, including the famous Jingfang restaurant, which could seat over 800 people and served over 10,000 customers each week. The planned dim sum restaurant at 88 East Broadway will help the community recover the foot traffic and allow many in Chinatown to have a large place for social gatherings once again. I know firsthand that many Chinese family associations here in Chinatown and in New York City were left scrambling for places to hold their events during the last 2 years after these restaurants had closed. I think it's really important to underscore that the foot traffic will help the local economy, but it will also help ensure, some of the other things that we've seen happening over the last 3 years. Like the sense of safety and security. With more people walking on the streets, we will definitely have that greater sense of community that has been missing over the last 3 years. Secondly, the agreement shows that developers can act responsibly when it comes to how workers are treated. The agreement is a big win for workers in the Chinatown community, as it provides that the developer will seek an operator for the large-scale restaurant who will agree to the following assurances. 1, non-discrimination against union members in the hiring process. 2, priority in the hiring process will be given to workers who were displaced by the 3 large-scale restaurants mentioned earlier that closed during the pandemic: Jingfang, Joy Luck Palace, and 88 Palace. And then there's also the third assurance that there will be an exclusive period for my union to provide referrals for the hiring of dining room staff at the planned restaurant. So the Chinatown economy has suffered greatly during the last 3 years, and we believe this plan by Broadway East and their assurances in this agreement will take a huge step forward to bolster the Chinatown recovery. Finally, we want to thank Councilmember Christopher Marte for his leadership in this process, because this agreement would not have been possible without his determination in the fight for working people and small businesses in this community, and also to the community at large, because it is with the community's support, the people who have been fighting to hold developers accountable, that this was possible. So thank you very much.
You know, recently we've been talking a lot about downtown revitalization, and people talk about different initiatives, programs, but this one is going to revitalize Chinatown, especially East Broadway. As Nelson mentioned, it's going to lighten up, it's going to bring foot traffic, it's going to bring safety, but more importantly, it's going to bring job security to people who live in this community and who has made this community what it is today. And so when we talk about revitalization, it's about revitalizing the people that live here today and that will continue to live here for the future. Up next, I want to bring up Kevin, the representative for the Broadway East group, who have worked really hard with us to make this a possibility. And I really want to thank them and tell them that they have my full support moving forward through the governmental process, but also as we look to redo the building and make it as good as it can possibly be. So Kevin.
Thank you, Councilman Marte, for allowing us to speak today. This partnership with the Chinese Chamber of Commerce, Local 318 Restaurant Workers Union, as well as Councilman Christopher Marte's office, further solidifies the commitment of Lee Boy and Broadway East Group in rebuilding East Broadway Mall, revitalizing this part of Chinatown, and creating good jobs for the local community. We want to thank Christopher Marte again, Councilman, for facilitating this, and thank you, Nelson Moore from Local 318 for negotiating terms where we believe we can all win from this process. We also want to thank the local members of the community for all the support, as well as the many community organizations who have shown tremendous support for Broadway East Group. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin said an important word, win. This is a massive win for our community. And when I first talked to our next speaker from the Chamber of Commerce, Wade Lee, he said, I want to find a way where we can win, not only for the developers, but for the community. And this deal is a win for everyone involved. So let's have Wade Lee say a few words.
So thank you, Chris. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you, Lee Boy, and the chairman of Chamber and all people here. I think hopefully start here, we can have better trust, stronger trust, and we have better confidence for our community. I think working together, anything is possible. So surprisingly, right before the meeting, they reached the agreement. And thank you to Chris. And I always tell Chingo, and trust is very important. Working together, always a solution to a problem. So thank you. I think it's trust, right? And if anything in the future, people should sit down and talk and win-win situation to continue. Hopefully, this kind of relationship can be continue to grow, expanding, create a positive energy for our community. We need it, right? We need it for so many places, so many cities. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the trust. Thank you.
I finally want to thank all the organizers that made this possible, people who have worked hard every single weekend, Wednesdays to Sunday, being out and making sure that the workers were heard and that the demands of having a union restaurant here in Chinatown is going to happen. And so thank you all for being out there every day, for all the hard work you have done. You guys made this possible. And thank you for East Broadway Group again for being open to this conversation. There were some groups that wouldn't even put this on the table, but you did, and we found a compromise that's a win for everybody. And so that's it. This is a historic moment. We're proud of what we've been able to achieve. When people say something is impossible, today we have proven that nothing is possible, that we continue to unionize workforces here in Chinatown, that we can work with the city, work with developers to make a massive win for our neighborhood. Thank you all.
Oh, thank you.
If the press have any questions, we'll take a few.